you know, as long as I'm not kissing Billy, Taylor, Selena, Amelia, Emma, or Alexis, I can love all of them equally without trouble. So that's cool. Yeah, we're leading up to the grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, where they'll be on top of each other like lovers for a day or two on December 21st, 2020. And we're in like the very last act of this narrative, the 8 years, where the big battles are happening on mythological, mystical, and madness Earth levels now. So buckle up, baby. I take great pride in being the best and doing the best I can. I like to be the best me I can. You know, that's how it goes. So I'm here with you comprehensively, and we're talking about hurricanes and major wildfires. I'll probably mention volcanoes at some point. We are getting hit by monsoon and hurricanes pretty much today. We got ducking Hurricane Hanna coming in, and then the monsoon of moisture coming up from all those Mexico and Central American volcanoes that have been erupting almost nonstop all year and last year. So there's a lot to get through, and it's happening in real time. Can't sleep? Nope. But, you know, it's part of the process because I like to do the night shift when things are super crazy. Meredith Garofalo checking in on Tropical Storm Hanna overnight. Here's all you need to know. And anytime anybody says that, no disrespect to anybody, but put an asterisk by that because there's always more you probably should know on a complex subject like hurricanes, you know. But the storm is strengthening in the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about ducking Hurricane Hanna, and it'll bring impacts to Texas, Louisiana, from storm surge to hurricane force winds. And some models, I got to say this again, showed it to have Cristobal-like effects to where Brown Ocean, it would get stronger after it makes land. It hit landfall. So that is one thing we're watching out for as we're happening and going through this together here now, you and I. If you haven't before, 2020 is a great time to put on your full armor of God. Love and kindness and teamwork is what we need now. Slow Thanos is crawling across the planet, killing people like a plague. Well, Slow Thanos is technically a plague. Trump's just like a Wall Street mascot. Divide and conquer king. Tropical Storm Hanna, which is now a ducking hurricane, continues to strengthen overnight. Here's some of the latest information as well as warnings here in place for hazards. Well, if you're in South Texas and you love Trump, think he's doing a great job, maybe he'll come and throw some paper towels your way after this hit in the face. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Harvey or Maria, but I think it's going to be worse than they were selling people all week and going into the night where they were like, it's a tropical storm. It's just going to be a tropical storm. Like, I think it's going to be a hurricane, and I think it's going to be pretty massive, meaning like the damage, and it's going to be quite a storm, And it's going to be the first of what looks like many. But yeah, you got both sides. One side trying to force you with the carbon tax, another side trying to force you into grand solar minimum, while the Earth is like totally on fire, smoking just like a dragon. These are the Siberian wildfires. Earth's inner core is like a star. Nobody knows what the sun is going to do. Nobody knows what the sun is going to do next, anyway. The polar magnetic field is quivering, just like it had an orgasm, I guess. Have you ever had one of those orgasms that made you quiver? It's late night. If you can't handle it, I don't know. THORnews for adults anyways. Solar cycle 25. Yep, this popped off an A-class solar flare. And so will it give us the energy we need to make it through? Absolutely. Comet NEOwise is one of the most gorgeous comets I've ever seen photographed, without a doubt. And it may be the good luck charm the good guys need. So don't give up hope, but the next 6 weeks are going to be like a total war, and, Lucifer and Satan's team might have a few power-ups. Just letting you know, the good guys got some power-ups too, Earth strong, we shall be. Hey, we knew the grand transition of 2020 was going to be wild, wild, and wild. And technically, we all spent the last 8 years manifesting this year. But thank God for divine course correction. Humanity will be back on track by the end of 2023. All right. And I would guess that I will get to kiss one of the most beautiful, talented, smart women in the world again in the future, as I have done throughout my whole life. You know, and it always adds joy to life. I don't know if you've ever kissed someone you really like being with. You don't have to spend your entire life with them. You know, you can just kind of learn from each other and have fun, and then a year or two later, each move on to mastering other things. I don't know. Relationships are weird in 2020 or whatever. They're fun to think about, though. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is definitely a hurricane. And I'll say again, THORnews. I don't necessarily need to name other people to name it a hurricane. Once it got the eye, it's a hurricane in my opinion. You guys can test the winds in the morning, I guess. It is definitely night shift hurricane. Did I mention that the 24 hours to 48 hours leading up to a hurricane landfall are always really weird? Remember, this is definitely not my first rodeo. So if I'm acting weird, it's probably because of the sun and the year and the energy and all things. All right. Yeah, well, I would like to find that forest in the future. You know what I'm saying? All right. I mean, what? I mean, like, whoa. Yeah, and I probably won't be reading my comments for a couple days just because people get really weird around hurricanes. So no disrespect to all the cool people out there. I know that it's a weird world, and we're in a spiritual war. Blake Matthews, Hanna really looking good this morning as of 2 a.m. A defined eye wall is forming and the eye is clearing. Very likely already a hurricane or close to it. Could make a run as a strong Category 1 or a weak Category 2. Couldn't agree more, Blake. And that's why, like, everybody went to bed being like, hey, it's just a tropical storm. And they're going to wake up like, oh, it's a hurricane. And this is Texas. They're all tough people. Shout out to Eric G., one of the greatest guitar players I've ever had the chance to hang out with. Technically, we wrote a couple songs together. Those are the days when you put stuff on tape. But he's definitely an amazing guitar player and songwriter. And then shout out to Bobby, too. And then shout out to Eric's brother, who played bass. Bobby's a drummer. Man, those were fun Austin days. You know what I'm saying? I love South Texas. I love Texas. And there's a hurricane watch out for Galveston. This is the Sunturion. He's fighting Daredevil. He's like, it is a grand solar minimum. The sun will be in a grand solar minimum. No matter what activity happens, it is minimum. And Daredevil is like, no, that is not true. Yeah, it's a crazy world. We're like in a weird cold civil war, man. The left is fighting the right. America's fighting China. Hurricanes are fighting us. The plague's fighting us. Everybody's fighting. And I am your planetary defense commander, the T. And would I date a lady with a nice tail? Probably. Oh, okay. Hey, everybody, woman, man, camera, TV. I've missed one. Hey, 2020. Hey, Douglas, what are you doing? No, you're not Douglas. She's got that look. Oh, that's like a brain with an evil eye. It's like a giant brain with a tail, brain tail, and an evil eye. That's definitely not a good look. And please remember, if at any time you think I should just stick to the weather, I think you should stick to shutting the fuck up. Because I didn't technically invite you to the channel. I just offered you good information while I'm doing the night shift. And I'm warning you that the war is going to happen. And what I'm working for is peace amongst all people. You know, if we stop fighting all the time. But with Mars and Aries, it doesn't look like that is going to happen. So everybody's got to put on their thick skin. All right? Okay. Sweet. And I'm sorry that I mentioned the clitoris in a video. I know that's going to make a lot of people be like, I'm leaving. I didn't come to hear somebody talk about some magic forest where big smiles and bright lights, beautiful smells. So this is Douglas. He's a major hurricane. He's headed to Hawaii. So that's just so crazy that, like, it's just the end of July and seems like everybody's shrugging off the fact that we've got 2 hurricanes about to hit the USA, you know? And so, what is that? the August, September, October, November. That's like 4 months left of hurricane season. Wow. Or maybe it's 3. I don't know. Time is weird these days. And this isn't a hurricane, it's a comet. This is NEOwise. This is its nucleus. Models in agreement that it's probably going to hit some part of Hawaii. Although Hawaii has like a Brady Bunch magic shield of love and happiness there. So I'm not that worried about Hawaii, but that could change. Yep. Solar activity is picking up. I would definitely not say this is minimal activity. Because minimal activity is when there's nothing. And this is something. All right, everybody stay cool. This is your hanging out with you late night, late shift, Saturday, Friday night. It's the weekend. Party. But play defense. God bless everyone.